Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. This is the Ball Don't Lie NBA Finals post game show, man. It's your boys Scott and Dante from Ball Don't Lie. You know to follow us on Twitter at Barberchair Scott, at October Zone Tay. You can follow the Barbers Chair Network at Barberchair Net on Twitter at Barberchair Net on Twitter and Instagram. You can also subscribe to the patreon.com/ Barbers Chair Network, man. Game two is in the books. The Golden State Warriors tie this thing up 107-88. Stephen Curry leads the way with 29 points, 6 rebounds, and 3 assists. He had four assists and 3 steals to get this one. This one's actually was not as close as the score show. They were up by like 30 at that point, man. And we are now 1-1 heading to Beantown. Game three on Wednesday, man. Dante, man, how you feeling about this game and how you feel in general, man?
Like we said, it was gonna be a battle, but at the end of the day, game one Al Horford hit 6 threes, game two Al Horford didn't hit a three. When a lot of those role players who showed out and helped them steal game one didn't show up today, and as a result of that, the Warriors played better. They made some shots that they missed yesterday. But I think more than anything, they really did. They really locked in defensively on everybody outside of Jason Tatum. We talked about this before we got on. They're gonna let him get his cool moves off.
Oh,
You
man.
do your thing
You
with
want to
that.
talk about it now?
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. All right. We can't. Let's get straight in. Jason Tatum, the Kobe cosplay got to stop. Like,
man.
this shit is sickening. Like, the whole, he's wearing the exact same thing Kobe wore in his draft day workout. Like, get the fuck out of here. Like, no, enough of that. Like, that's not going to win them this series, bro. None of that nostalgia is going to do anything for them. And they really got to stop that.
And I will say, I seen somebody tweet. I was gonna respond to it, but this was right when the game was starting. I didn't feel like typing all the words I wanted to say, but they had a picture of Kobe wearing the Michael Jordan jersey in the warm up in the 2002 finals, and it was like there's a couple things about that. One, I'm 33, so I actually remember the 2002 finals. Kobe was wearing legendary jerseys of different athletes that whole playoff run. He wore a Jackie Robinson jersey. He wore a Wayne Gretzky jersey. He wore a Wilt jersey. Like, he was doing multiple things. It wasn't like he was just wearing Wilt Chamberlain's jersey every day and then texting his number when he's dead. Like, that type of shit is like, it's not the fucking same thing, man.
That shit is nasty, bro. Like, you really got to stop that. No, that's really got to stop. But he played bad tonight. He had I'm not even really big on plus or minus, but he had a negative 36 plus or minus, the worst of his career. And when you score 28 points and your impact is still judged that negatively on the game, that says a lot. And so, like I said, my initial reaction, like we always say, role players, they game don't travel in the finals. So Boston still did what they had to do. They stole the game in the Bay. But the Warriors, I still think, they showed you today that this is still the team to beat in this series.
Yeah, my initial thoughts. One, I still feel confident in my pick. I'm not. It's gonna be a longer series than what I had. I said Warriors in 5. I definitely think this could go 6-7, but I still feel confident. You don't play ifs in sports. You can do ifs with any situation in sports, but they could be up 2-0 if they just play like the fucking Harlem Globetrotters in the fourth quarter of game one. I mean, this is the third double-digit lead they've had in this series, and I think the only really difference between these games was they kept their foot on the gas. And one thing I got to give to Steph was the only guy giving them offense for like a nice amount of that time, and he kind of got the ball rolling. And also, Steve Kerr must have watched our last show, because remember me, you, and Illy said about the Andre Iguodala minutes? All of a sudden, the nigga knee was hurt. Yeah, okay. They went in the film room on Friday and Saturday. It was like, you know what? These numbers are not good during these 12 minutes, and let's put him in the Udonis Haslem role. And they even had a part in the game where Lisa Salter said that they were down 5, and Andre Iguodala came in like, why y'all sulking like we down 15? Get y'all shit together. Like, that's some Udonis Haslem shit. So it looked like they took our advice on there. I mean, and this is actually a win too, with nobody else really showing up. Not Steph, but Clay had his worst playoff game that I can fucking remember. Jordan Poole got hot at the end, but he did that after it was a double-digit lead. Wiggins, I will say this about Wiggins. Offensively, I wasn't, really impressed with his game. I mean, he only had 11 points, 4 for 12 in the field. So he wasn't good offensively, but he played some good defense. The defense in general was a story here tonight for the Warriors. Everybody showed up. Draymond was playing Black Air Force One defense today, and he was like, he was on some stupid shit for a little bit, but overall, I think the Warriors should feel pretty good about that. I think both teams feel pretty good. I don't think Boston should soak their heads or anything. When you on the road, your job is to get a split. They did that, now they get to go home.
Yeah, no, absolutely, bro. And like you really for game 2, you really got to tip your cap to the Warriors because they played their game. And like you said, they didn't deviate from what they were doing. And in the fourth quarter, they really executed. And that third quarter, even though, like you said, it wasn't the old school Warriors where you had Steph and Clay raining down threes on you, but you saw them put their foot on the gas in that third quarter, and they never let up.
Yep, definitely, man. And also, I think one of the other things too about this was Steph is that one thing about this that I've seen from Steph that's been different from past finals is I think this is the best defense he's seen being played on him in any finals that I can remember. But he's doing a good job of bouncing back. And like when we know I feel like the beginning of the game he didn't start that well. He started battling, get into the hole. And I said that in our preview of the finals. I was like, Steph gets to the basket way better than he has at any point in his career now. And I think that has been opening up the shots a little bit more and has been helping him get more active and be more engaged and things of that nature, where it doesn't feel like the physicality is like taking him out of his game too much. And with Boston, there's only really so much you can do to quote unquote stop Steph. Great players, you're not going to stop great players. You're just going to slow them down. And I think that they're going to have to continue to play this defensive strategy. But I like how Steph is not really shied away from defenses like we've seen in the past when people get physical with him.
Yeah, no, definitely, bro. He's really been able to still do his thing and lead this team offensively. And one thing, like I said about that third quarter, like you said, the Warriors outscored Boston 35-14. They were 11 to 23 from the field, 7 to 12 from three, and they really. The Celtics couldn't do anything with it, bro. And like you said yesterday, it was a thing where they were walking into wide open shots. And Draymond spoke about this in his post-game press conference. They were walking into wide open threes. And today they weren't really doing that. Like you said, they were really more locked in on the defensive end. And like you said, you let Jason Tatum, he want to dribble the air out the fucking ball. You were able to withstand Jaylen Brown's run in the first quarter. He came out hot. And it really looked like it was like something to be worried about. But they, like you said, they were really able to do their thing, and that's something big because a lot of people wanted to press that panic button after the way the game with the way that game ended. So for them to come back and restore order, and I feel like that really sets the tone for them headed off to Boston.
Yeah, and I think remember one thing we saw in the post game when you were talking about with Draymond last game, he was looking at how good this Smart and Horford and White played from the shot from the field. And I think White still had a solid game off the bench. He gave I just had it right here. There we go. He had 12 points off the bench, but he shot 4 for 13. So never mind, I take that back. So he had 12 points, but was 4 for 13 from the field. Marcus Smart only had 2 points. Al Horford only had 2 points. And Robert Williams does not look good out there. He's been laboring that knee, but it looked really bad today. And that's like really been, not helping their defense. I kind of feel like Looney had his way with him today. Just on the board, 12 points this time, 7 rebounds. And he was big like in that second quarter, like early in the first and the second quarter when they were like going back and forth with the Celtics. He kind of kept them alive with some of the rebounds there, but the others did not play well for Boston. Really, Boston didn't have, and this is the thing we've been saying about Boston offensively. This team is smelly, bro. Like this is not like a quote unquote bad game. This is who they are offensively. This is who they've been all fucking postseason offensively. Like this is the norm for them.
Yeah, no, I agree, bro, 100%. And when those shots aren't falling, it's gonna look like this. You've had plenty of nasty nights where like that defense isn't enough because at the end of the day, you're still gonna have to score points. We talk about defense wins championships. Yeah, that's true. But in today's NBA, you have to be able to get buckets. And when you're going against a team with a player like Steph Curry, who even when his teammates are off, Steph is gonna get his. He's gonna be able to get buckets, and they got just enough from everybody else to get the job done. And I mean, it was a blowout. And you said, Clay had his worst game of his playoff career. So if you Boston, you really got to, look yourself in the mirror and see how you're going to do this when you go home because they need to win both games in Boston.
Yeah, I don't think, and this thing that's I don't think that's gonna happen. But also, it's like
Oh, at all? No.
the Celtics ain't that good at home in the playoffs. Celtics 5-4 at home in the playoffs. Their bread and butter has been on the road. They are 5-4 at home in the postseason, so they've been really shaky. There, and the Warriors have been really good on the road also. So this, I am with you though. I do agree with that. If the Celtics want to win this series, it is imperative that they win both. I don't think that's going to happen, but they do have to win both. Now, here's a question I have for you. Like in this game, did you think that Golden State did anything differently compared to Game One?
Not necessarily different. Like I said, I did think they didn't allow Boston to walk into as many open threes. But I think, like you said, like I said earlier, you got a little bit more help from everybody else. I think Draymond yesterday, game one, he took 12 shots. Today he took 3 shots. So he was much more active in other aspects of the game, and I think that was really important because game one, like you said, the closeouts on Al Horford were bad. You saw him locked in tonight. Al couldn't do anything. He was in Grant Williams' face, talking to him, letting them know like you want to be me, you ain't me, you think you me. And so like you really got that old school Draymond, and that's that energy that they need from him. So like I said, game one, you don't need Draymond taking 12 shots like ever. Like you don't need him doing that. So they got a lot of old school Draymond today, and I think that was a big difference. More than anything, it wasn't much that they did anything different, even though you did see a little more isolation with Steph, allowing him to get into his rhythm and do his thing. But overall, I think it was just more so better execution than them doing something different.
Yeah, I agree with that. I think it was better execution and just really just keeping their foot on the gas. Like there was a point in the third quarter where they were up 17. Now, actually, it was before that. This is when I saw the this is a good trend. They were up by 12, and then I think the Celtics hit 2 threes. They cut it down to, I think they cut down like to 6 or some shit like that. And then the Warriors responded with back-to-back threes after that. And so I was like, okay, they're staying afloat right now. They didn't let Boston, make this an interesting game. And even in the fourth quarter, I tweeted right before the fourth quarter, like, yeah, I know they're up 25, but these first couple non-Steph minutes are going to be crucial. You don't want them to cut this down to like 12 or 10, and then this gets interesting. And then they came out, punched them right in the fucking mouth right from the beginning. So I'm with you. The only thing I really feel like they did differently was they did keep their feet on the gas. And that's something that, I think what Richard Jefferson said it with the Warriors play fuck around and find out basketball, where they fuck around people and then they find out they shouldn't have did that shit. So I really just think that was the story in this one, man. But what do you think? How can Boston adjust? Because I feel like this series, like any series, is about adjustment. But this one, I think, is going to be a little different with adjustments because both of these teams, neither of these teams have lost back-to-back games all postseason. So obviously, that's going to be a record that's going to be broken soon. But what do they do when they get home to try to, immediately take the lead back?
Yeah. Well, my thing is, at this point, you've seen Steph has been the most consistent offensive threat for the Warriors. Like, do you go against the whole? Well, we're gonna try to stop everybody else and let Steph get his and try to game plan toward either whether it's easier, much easier said than done saying run the Steph off the three or being physical with him with Marcus Smart and things of that nature. So I want to see the strategy with that as far as what they do with Steph. But I think your role players have to play better. Like Al Horford, we shouldn't be expecting what you saw in game one from Al Horford ever again. Fuck the bullshit. Just be real ever again. Right. And so, but you can't have 2 points from Al Horford. You need more than that. Robert Williams, I feel you. Like I agree with you 100%. He's hurt, bro. That leg is not right. And so I don't even know how much having him out there is a benefit. Like I know he's played well in spurts, but overall, he isn't giving you what he gave you when he was 100% healthy. Jaylen Brown has to play better. Like he finished the game 5 of 17 from the field. I think he had 11 in the first quarter. So
he had 11 in the first and finished with 17.
Yeah, so he played. He had a bad game. So you need Jaylen to be that number 2 option because, like you said, offensively this team is limited, and when those role players aren't clicking, you need your 1 and 2 to be doing their thing. And when Jason is getting buckets, but the way he was getting them today, he was 6 of 9 from 3, but everything else, like you said, it was an ugly 28. I think I want to say he had 21 in the first.
Yeah, like 21, 22 in the first half. Yeah.
Yeah, so 7 points in the second half. They got outscored 45-25 in the second half. They just got destroyed. So you have to
40 paint points for the Golden State Warriors.
Yeah,
40.
you have to put a complete game together. You can't do that. So like I said, you need your number 2 to play better, but you also need those role players. They have to give you something. And I know they will in Boston. We know the energy in that building. So they're gonna come out fighting. But I think that's what it is more than anything.
Yeah, I think the thing for Boston is the thing is gonna have to be their defense. Like they're gonna have to rely on that, and they can't turn the fucking ball over. We said this in our fucking preseason, not pre-series breakdown. Like they turn the fucking ball over
They had 18
18
turnovers.
times. Like you can't fucking do that. Like so that's one thing, and this is a thing that it's not just one game thing. This is who this team is. They lead the playoffs in turnovers. Jason Tatum leads it in turnovers by a wide fucking margin. So that thing has to stop. But offensively, this is my main concern about them coming into this series. Everybody was like, well, you've never seen a defense like Boston. Yeah, but we've never seen an offense like Golden State. And can you score enough to get with them? You know what I'm saying? Like, can they get consistently in the hundreds? They can't do that. It's 88 points. Jason Tatum does this shit. And this is why people think I hate Jason Tatum, which I don't. I'm a Jason Tatum guy. We got to keep it real. He gets away with cool moves. Y'all like his little crossovers and his shots, and he fool y'all into thinking he got having a monster game. One day, I think I saw a tweet that said this. One day he plays like a perennial all-star. Next day he plays like fucking Gerald Wallace. There's no fucking consistency. He had 28 points a day. 22 of them shits came in the first half. Jaylen Brown, 17 points. 12 of them bitches came in the first quarter. You need consistency from your guys. And yes, we know Al Horford's never going to score 26 again in the playoff series. But this motherfucker got to shoot more than 4 times. Like, it's not like he was just missing. He wasn't shooting. Marcus Smart, he was good defensively, but there was a lot of times I forgot he was on the fucking court. So you need for them to win this series. Not only they have to, I believe they got to win both of these games to win this series. There's so much of an offensive burden and offensive consistency that they got to have to legitimately win this series. And even as good as they can be offensively, Golden State still has another notch. Golden State put up 107 points with 3 of their guys playing like shit. Clay played like shit. Poole had the classic stat padding game. You know what I'm saying? Poole had 17 points. But how many of them shits came after they were dubs was already up like 12 or 14 points?
I'm sorry, at least 12 of them.
At least majority of them shits. Andrew Wiggins wasn't good, 4 or 12. But there's just so much of an offensive burden that Boston got to do. So I really only think the only thing they can adjust is they have to get better offensively. Like, and I don't know how much better they can do that. Like you said, the Warriors, the role players will play better in Boston. That crowd is going to be loud. First home playoff, her first home finals game in 12 years is going to be busting up in there. But they need a full team effort to make this. And I feel like they got the Warriors' attention now.
Yeah, no, they definitely do. And you got to think Gary Payton II is back, so that's another body.
Good game today.
Another body they throwing at him. So it's gonna get tough. So we're gonna see what the Celtics are made of. We've seen, like I said, not counting them out because we've seen them do this all season, and seen them battle back. But going back into the Garden, this is a big game 3 for them.
Yeah, this is a huge game 3 for them. I think it's imperative for them to win this. So you don't want the Warriors to come out, win 2 in a row, grab the home court advantage right back. And also, this is like, I feel like the Celtics got to lead the league in getting their ass bust the most in the playoffs and then responding with a good game. So this game 3 is going to be a big one. I think the stat is the team that wins game 3 after a 1-1 series wins 75% of the time. So this is going to be a massive game. We got to wait till Wednesday. I don't be a big fan of these massive waits during the finals. I get why they do it. The more rest for both teams, stretch it out a little bit. But it's like game 1 and game 2 felt like 4 years in between each other. So it's like we got to wait another 2 days. But question is, what do you think the Warriors should do to go in here, get a split in Boston?
I think more than anything, you need the same Draymond Green you got tonight. Like that's the Draymond you need in order for the Warriors to be at their absolute best. I think Clay will play better. We've seen Clay put on some big performances on the road during the playoffs, so I'm not concerned with Clay. Like I said, getting Peyton back into the rotation. I think Wiggins, I don't need a lot more from him offensively. I just need him to keep doing what he's doing defensively and making Jason Tatum work. And he's done a great job of that. So with the Warriors, really just, remember who you are and what your identity is and falling back on that. Steph is going to be Steph. Steph is going to do his thing. And if those other guys can step up and give them a little help, I think they can come back. Yeah, like I said, I know I picked the Warriors in 6, but they can come back 3-1.
Who, the Warriors?
Yeah, the Warriors.
Yeah, I agree with that too. I think it's a veteran team. Like you said, there's not a situation they haven't seen before. I'm pretty sure there was no panic in that locker room after they lost game one. I mean, you can pretty much see it in the post game. You know, Draymond was like, "We'll be fine." You know, there's certain things we got to clean up. And like you said, the Celtics play sus at home, so like you really never know what Celtics team you getting at home. And I feel for Golden State, all they got to do, let defense be your anchor. Keep playing the defense like they were swarming today. And I gotta actually give a shout out to the referees, which I haven't done all playoffs because they've been asked, but they let them play today for the most part. You know, they took away that technical that they gave to Jordan Poole and didn't call one on Draymond for that little scuffle with Jaylen Brown. I think they were pretty fair for the most part. But just, you know, continue to play defense, and you need the other guys to step up because it's going to be a different game in Boston. But I do feel like they're going to come home with, with at least a split. At the bare minimum, a slip. But like I said, I wouldn't be shocked we come home in the week and these motherfuckers got a 3-1 series lead. Like, to me, Boston just has so much of an offensive load to carry. And Golden State's so good on that side of the ball that it just might not fucking matter. So there's gonna be a game in this series where Clay goes nuclear because it's gonna happen, and that's something that the Celtics need to prepare for. They need to push that off as far as fucking possible because it's gonna happen. You're not gonna hold a guy like him down as bad as he was. And I think more of it was just bad shots more than good defense.
Yeah, no, I agree 100%, bro. Like he was taking some tough shots, missing shots that he normally makes. So with a shooter like Clay, it's just about him getting in his rhythm. We had talked about how, coming into this, like he had started to play better and, headed into the playoffs and whatnot. So I think being back in the finals, finally getting into it, he'll be just fine.
Yeah, man. But that's all we got for y'all today, man. Short edition. We will be back with the episode of Ball Don't Lie on Tuesday. We'll be dropping on Tuesday. We're gonna record tomorrow, drop on Tuesday. We'll give y'all more in-depth breakdown on these first two games. If you didn't watch this will be up on the audio feed tonight. So check that out. You know to follow us on Twitter at BarbChair Scott at October's on Tay. So look out for Ball Don't Lie dropping on Tuesday. And of course, we back Wednesday after game 3. See what happens in this series, man. We are out.